13 Reasons Why Life of a Showgirl is Taylor Swift's most conservative album ever. Disclaimers are on the screen now. Pause to read. Please look over these before you come into my comments spewing bean soup, as I will be wielding the block button. Especially for anyone pro-Cheeto man, don't waste your time and mine by leaving a comment. Number 1 is, of course, the enormous display of wealth. This isn't limited to the mentions of Gucci and Balenciaga, although I do think those are incredibly tone deaf. Even the focus on buying a house in a cul-de-sac with a basketball hoop is kind of insensitive when people are really struggling to buy homes right now. And that brings me to number 2. There's nothing to balance out the displays of wealth. No acknowledgement of people's reality or empathy for her fans. When I mentioned this in my last video, I got a lot of comments from people saying, I wouldn't want to listen to a song about the collapsing economy. She's not qualified to write that because she's not poor, she's very rich. To that I say, think about folklore. We have not even achieved that basic level of empathy. We have in fact received something that is very insensitive. The world she built flouts our problems and is not something we can escape into because of that. It's probably the least female-centric album she's ever put out. Yes, it revolves around her new relationship, but when you compare it to other albums that revolve around relationships like Lover, you still have Soon You'll Get Better about her mom. You still have Me, a celebration of herself. There's nothing here that acknowledges what made the Eras Tour so powerful, the economies that were changed because of women. Instead, we have an influx of the fact that she went from having very complex, thoughtful songs about down to simply writing about and size comparison shows a regression. Who else do we know that ignores all other pieces, focuses only on mature takes on, like you see in False God and Guilty as Sin, require the knowledge that human is natural, that it is okay to express yourself. The fact that she is using titillating language, very simplified language, expressing an immaturity when it comes to that is an extension of purity culture. I will continue to maintain that although she did not intend to create pro-natalist propaganda, that is in essence what she created. While she was expressing her personal feelings toward Travis, as a brand within the cultural context, she put out a message that a successful businesswoman wants to settle down in a cul-de-sac with a basketball hoop and have the giggle of kids. On its own, that's not an issue, but there's no balance on the album. When we had Paper Rings, we also had The Man. She did something different this time when it came to expressing her desires for her future. She put down women who want other things. RIP to my dog moms out there, your dogs are your babies. Seen other creators talking about how odd it was that she chose to write a diss track for Charli XCX when there are still people that she could be punching up to. There are still men that she could write those diss tracks for. But instead, she chose to write it to a fellow female artist who is arguably not quite as successful. What are we on, 8, 7? Her relationship with power has really shifted in an unfortunate way since releasing songs like The Man. And again, part of this is the cultural landscape around her changing as well. But the point of view expressed in this album that she is this master puppeteer, the godfather, that has different implications today than it did even 2 years ago. In a similar way, there's a lot more references to allegiance, blind allegiance. I pledge allegiance to your team. Let's not forget his team has very troubling people on it and continues to debase indigenous people every time there's a game. I prefer my friends cancel that willingness to just throw up your hands and blindly support someone. Speaking of, the fact that so many people are hailing this as a turn off your brain is pretty gross. All of that language of turn off your brain, it's just fun, enjoy it, it's not that deep, the curtains are just blue. That is conservative dialogue when it comes to digesting art. The way that she pulls in references on this album, like to literature, to other media, has really taken a sharp step back. There's a very surface level understanding of media that she's talking about, or the people that she's talking about, that don't actually enhance the story she's trying to tell. That willingness to know the classics without understanding or engaging with them is trademark conservative culture. Number 12, the blatant hypocrisy of it. The fact that she's saying so much in this album that goes against her brand, that goes against what she said previously in albums. That is what I would expect to see from someone like Cheeto Man. It makes her seem insincere and vapid. And number 13 is not something that Taylor is doing, it's something that the fan base is doing. And I need you to hear me say this as someone who's been a fan for a very long time. Taylor's art is not above criticism. This is not the time to be blindly supporting people. I defended this fan base for years when people said that Swifties are a cult, that we don't hold Taylor accountable. We wouldn't tell her if she ever put out something bad, we would just throw money at her. And frankly now, that's what y'all are doing. I will reiterate, I don't think she set out to write an album that she thought Republicans would love. I think she just really dropped the ball on this one. I think she's so rich and has enjoyed so much success as an artist that she no longer has someone in her life to edit her down or to reliably tell her how things will be perceived once they're out in this world.